Hi, it's Joanna Hunter here, and I am joined by my beautiful VIP BeMagic client, Laura Muirhead. Hello, Laura. How are you doing? Come and tell people what it is that you do in the world.
Hi, thank you, Joanna. I am Laura Muirhead. I am from lauramuirhead.com. I am an artist, a healer, and sage, and I do art, and I also help inspire women to lead their best lives through creativity.
I love that. I love that. Me and Laura have been on quite the journey together because Laura's one of my long-term coaching clients. So you have been one of my coaching clients for nearly 3 years now, isn't it? It must be about that, or maybe even more. And you've been in a lot of my programs, a lot of my containers and things. So let's talk a little bit about the journey. I think the first thing that you did with me was the retreat, wasn't it?
Yeah, even before I started coaching with you, I did your Scotland retreat, which was so amazing. And then it was just a couple months after that we started coaching together.
And yeah, so that was our kind of first. Now, back in that first retreat, I hope this is okay to share, but you really even struggled to take the time off for the retreat, right? Because there was energies pulling you from your family business that you run and you were helping to run and things like that. So there was like this kind of like this. How have things changed since then? Because we have literally been on quite the journey.
I don't think anything's the same. I think everything has changed so much, at least within me. I mean, the business is still there, and but as far as how I see things and how I react to things, even with cash flow with the business, it's so much easier, and that does come down to working with you and the changing of my mind, shifting my mind and shifting my energies along, with everything else. So yeah, everything has just, and this, in the business, everything's just so much easier, and the cash flows there.
That was a big thing, in changing that cash flow. And a lot of that we didn't really like. I didn't give you any kind of like cash flow strategies and things like that. It was more about mindset, shifting the mindset, which has completely shifted all of that energy around the cash flow of your main family business, which has then gone on to become a multiple 7-figure business.
Yeah, we have done incredible years. We, even last year we had a great year. We're having a great year this year. We've had unexpected income multiple times, including just this week. So things are, just going, and it is that energy and the mind, changing the energy, changing the mindset of not, wanting to hold on so tight, and just allowing things to flow. And it does, it works, and it ripples out to the people, the people around me as well. My husband, who's my, we're partners in the business, and he's changed as well, and that helps with the flow of the business also.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. So you went through my Lightweb program, you went through my Lightweb Priestess program, and then this year you decided you want some of that BeMagic Woman program. So you went through my whole year walking with me with BeMagic plus the coaching. What has your BeMagic year been like? How have you enjoyed that year?
I just love it, because I love, everything that you do monthly. I love your healings, a different healing each month you do it, a different healing.
Yeah, we do the healings each month.
Yeah, so there's a different one, the good girl wounds, the shadow wounds, everything. It's so great to get those every month, to be joined, in that energy, and clear the things. So many times we think we've cleared it, and no, we need another little round of it. And so I love that, and I love, well, just your retreat last your virtual retreat, end of the year retreat
Yeah,
last.
that we've just done in December
Oh my
now.
gosh, that was the best. I think that is an incredible way to close out this year and step into next year. I've never really looked at things, that way, as far as going through the year and then, stepping up into the new year and setting those intentions, which I just think are so, it just was amazing. And everyone, the group that was on there as well, it was such a great experience. But I love the BeMagic year because there is something every month, every quarter, you just constantly have things. And I like, honestly, for me, I like paying for it as a package, because then I'm not having to pick and choose what I want to be on, or, oh, should I get on that or should I not? No, it's all there. I want it all. Like, why wouldn't you? I just, everything is so fabulous. And each one, I mean, every one of your programs that are included in the BeMagic year, it just, everything just helps you move forward in so many great ways.
I love that, Laura. The nice thing with the BeMagic here is you don't actually have to do it all. You can, once you've got it all, it's like, you can pick and choose, you can dip in, you can dip out. Obviously with like Divine Planning, Abundant Profits and Lightweb, you'd already come to those programs before you joined the BeMagic year. So, it's like, it's okay if you want to set a month out, and not do the program that year, that month or something like that, especially if you've already taken it, but what's really nice is that there's always something to plug into. And that was my intention with creating the BeMagic year, was to keep that vibe high, to give you something to calibrate to every single month. So you've had some really cool wins, because I can't believe it's been a year already, but in the middle of a pandemic, Laura opened her very own art studio, which, it's bold move any time of the year, but in the middle of a pandemic, hugely bold move. So you opened this art studio, and not only is Laura a multiple entrepreneur, so she runs her family business, which is a multiple 7-figure business, but you had your first 5K month in your art studio, which is an amazing achievement, because you don't have your art studio open 24/7 all the time, which is amazing. Tell people about what the unfoldment of that art studio has been like, because that in itself was an incredible journey.
Well, yeah, we imagined it together, you and I. I knew I wanted an art studio. I wasn't sure what that was going to look like. I wasn't sure if it was going to be, a building in my backyard, just a private studio in my backyard. We looked at multiple buildings that didn't work out to purchase, and then we finally hit on this one that we have. And it is, honestly, I feel like for it's the perfect place. It really is. And so to open it, we literally closed on the building, I believe it was March 20th of 2020. So like right on the verge of when everything shut down. It wasn't all shut down just yet. So
yeah, the first lockdown, wasn't it?
Yeah. But for me, and I think I can credit a lot of this to mindset work beforehand, is that I wasn't like, oh my gosh, what did I do? This is crazy. This is stupid. This was whatever. No, for me, I was like, this gives me time to, because we did a lot of renovations in the outside the studio, painting the outside, doing the renovations inside with flooring and painting, and pulling in, I do pottery. So pulling in all the equipment, and it just gave me time without feeling crunched to rush to be like, oh, I have to open by this day. And it was kind of funny, because it was during when everything was shut down that, I kind of was like, oh, I guess we could just open today. There was no fanfare. There was no, like, today we'll be open. And, I think even last year, I really appreciate last year for me, for the growth that I needed. Like, I celebrated every sale that I had. If it was a $5 sale, like that could have been my sale for the whole day. And sometimes even now, because it's a seasonal area that we're in and not open, that might be a sale for for the day now, because we're not technically open and somebody pops in. And so I was able to celebrate all of it, and also to have the time and the space to really embrace it more, really embody it, so that this year, when it was busier, I was ready for it. I don't, if last year would have been this year, I don't think I personally would have been as ready for it. And then, yeah, we did have our 5K month. I've done 5 figures in the studio for this year, which I'm also really celebrating, because we aren't open. We are like, again, it's a seasonal business. So most of the businesses in the summer, and winter's pretty quiet, but even with, and even at that, I'm not open every day, so I'm celebrating every single step of the way, and it's been fabulous.
It's amazing. I love that you're able, because you hold already a multiple 7-figure business. And I love that you've been able to indulge something that has been 100% your passion, and be able to celebrate even a $5 sale, which I think is so important, and to be able to hold space for that. Because I think a lot of people might look at that and be like, oh my God, but like, you've been able to celebrate that, and the growth that you've had, during a pandemic in a brick and mortar business, when other brick and mortar businesses have gone under, like, it's phenomenal. And I know that your studio is just going to grow from strength to strength. And as you're adding in the more kind of the sage part of your business with the coaching and everything, and the launch of a brand new online program, which is amazing. And one of the things that's really lovely about Laura is that she really does embody a multi-passionate entrepreneur. And tell us a little bit about the journey with bringing this new course out into the world as well, because that's been its own journey.
Yeah, so it was really interesting, because it was actually on the second retreat that I went on, your retreat in Northern Ireland. It just kind of evolved from a conversation that we had, where, we were talking about something completely unrelated, and that just spurred me to think, more and more and more about personal policies and putting personal policies in place. And then over that time, that was 2 years ago. And so it was a process of creating this, because it evolved. The concept kept evolving and evolving until it became what it is now, which is the Queen Code, and a six-week program. So and creating, like, we together, we worked on the workbooks. There's weekly workbooks and all the PDFs and all the, just the whole program. And it's just been incredible to realize that. And I had my master workbook printed, and I saw that and had it all, I have it, and it's all in print, and it's just like such an incredible accomplishment. But it really is a passion of mine, because I feel so strongly about people, personal responsibilities, and part of helping you step into more freedom in your life is setting these personal policies of how you deal with the outside world, and even yourself as well.
I love that. And the conversation that Laura's referencing, it did indeed happen on one of my retreats out in Ireland, and it came about like this idea, like a shop has a policy. Why can't we have a policy of how we deal with stuff? And I was like, this is genius. I love that for you, Laura. And it was just this thing that's evolved. And what Laura is going to help you do in her course is like basically get your policies sorted, so that just not my policy to do that, and so that you can do life with greater ease, which I love it. That's what we're all about here, is ease, joy, and flow. If anybody was sat listening to this, and they're maybe sat on the fence about becoming a VIP client of mine and a private client of mine, what would you say to them? What would your advice be to them?
Oh, for me, I mean, working with you, we've done unimagined things that I would have never imagined before we started. We created journals, we've created a podcast, we've created the Queen Code, the 6-week online program none of this, we created the studio. We've, manifested money. We've
The
manifested.
money has Laura is a master manifester. We're talking multiple 6-figure amounts of money have manifested from literally the ether. It's been amazing to watch.
Yeah. So, I mean, for me, I would absolutely, I would say, absolutely work with Joanna. Why wouldn't you? You will create things that you haven't imagined, that you wouldn't have. I mean, and some of the things that we talked about, I'm going to admit that in the beginning, it was like, what, we're going to do what? And, we just stepped into it and stepped into it and stepped into it. And I love that you give, at least for me, you've given me the space to do it in my, in my own time, because there is a time, when it's right for yourself, and everything comes together and you're ready, and you just are there to support us and guide us through all of that, through the ups and the downs and the happy, you're there to celebrate all of our wins, and you're there to walk with us when we're falling apart crying. And I do have to say that becomes less and less and less as I work with you. I mean, the things that, I just feel like I'm a completely different person as far as my mindset and my energy than when we started working together. And I couldn't be more grateful for that.
Oh my God, Laura, I have adored walking with you these last few years. It's been absolutely phenomenal. I am so excited. At the time of recording this, we are on the precipice of a new year. Tell people, what are your plans for the next year? What, world domination? What is that even big enough? Are we going for the galaxy here? What's happening?
Oh my gosh, I just can't wait for 2020 and to see what comes. I'm so open for incredible opportunities. And I mean, again, launching the Queen Code program online, and just hoping to have people join that and love it and learn from it. Continue with the studio, continue with our family business and all of it, just to hope to see so much expansion with all of it. Like, I'm just open for whatever, all the good things to come. And I, based on these last couple of years, I mean, I can't even imagine, but I know it's going to be fabulous, because I'm ready for it. Like, it's so amazing.
Amazing. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today, Laura. And I am so excited to see what will happen next.
Well, thank you so much, Joanna.